What's good? What's poppin', YouTube? So, the hot mess Elliott's household, we're like sick with the cold. It's horrible. So we were not able to deliver a video on Friday. And for this week, we let you guys vote whether you guys wanted a Cardi B react video or if you guys wanted my experience of being a special needs parent. So you guys voted for special needs parent, so that's what I'm gonna hop into right now. So with John, who's my 5-year-old, at 18 months, we realized that he was just grunting. He was not verbal. He was not communicating with us. Literally, if he wanted, oh my poor baby, he's sleeping. Here we go. Right. So, literally, if he wanted cereal, he'll go If he wanted like a hug, he'll go like literally, like he had different grunts for different things, and we were like, nah, there's something wrong here. And me myself being a child, I had special needs. I had a speech delay growing up. I didn't speak until I was 5. So yeah, something about me. I already knew that this is a possibility for my children. So when it came down to evaluations, my doctor was all for it. She said, definitely, it's time to get him evaluated. Something's wrong. And the first evaluation, I got my child evaluated 3 times, mind you. And I'm going to say this from the beginning. Early intervention ends at the age of 3. So pay attention to the timeline. I got my child evaluated at 1.5 years old, which is 18 months. And when I got him evaluated the first time, they was like, oh, you know, kids take longer to talk sometimes, especially boys, especially people in bilingual households. So give them time. I wasn't accepting it. I said, no, my child has speech delays. When can I get him evaluated again? Pardon me. I said, when can I get him evaluated again? And they said, oh, you know, it's 3 to 5 months, so you can come back in 5 months. I said, okay, bet. I come back, my child is 2 years old now. 5 months have passed. My child is 2 years old now. And same thing. Oh, you know, it takes time. You know, some kids are slower than others. Give him a chance. He'll start yappering out of nowhere. That was my first checkpoint. I was like, he's not going to start yappering out of nowhere because he should have been started yappering already. He's 2 years old. What are you saying? Right? So then, from there, I said, I'm going to get him evaluated again. When can I do it? Oh, 5 months. Bet. This was at 2 years old. 5 months later, he was already 2.5. And they were saying, this time, oh, you know, we're going to give him the services because he really can't communicate with you guys. At this point, John was biting himself, biting me, biting his father, basically having very horrible outbursts because he couldn't communicate with us. And he was getting very frustrated with himself and with the fact that he couldn't tell us what he wanted or how he felt. So that's where I got upset. I was like, you guys had to wait, or you guys kept delaying us. You could have had these services beforehand. You guys kept, you know, giving us a runaround. And now you guys had to wait to the point that my child is now literally doing bodily harm to himself to want to give me the services. Yes, you know, we apologize. We should have did it sooner. Yeah. So when this happened too, I was more upset at the fact that this was literally right before Thanksgiving. Remember what I said? They stopped early intervention at 3 years old. John's now 2.5. And it's right before Thanksgiving. It's literally right before the holidays. John received his therapy, like, started receiving his speech therapy, applied behavioral analysis therapy, and his occupational therapy. Literally, like, 2 to 3 days before Thanksgiving. That whole Thanksgiving weekend or vacation, nobody came to see us. Then a little bit of September, then the Christmas holiday and the New Year holidays, and then we're in January. John's birthday is January 30th. So, You already see where I was getting. I was getting anxious. Like, you were only about to give me a whole month of services when he should have been had this a long time ago. And they were like, no, don't worry, we're going to extend it just over the fact of his birthday, and he really needs the services. So I said, I bet. He received his services. He's been receiving his therapy. He was receiving his therapy of OT, ABA, and speech. Really did wonders. He was slowly getting there, slowly saying stuff, and slowly coming back to speaking and stuff like that. And literally, that was like the most angriest I have ever been in my life because of the whole situation. I was on top of everybody, making sure everybody was on their A games with him, and him being on his A game too. And I was ashamed and stressed. I literally always sat there like, what I must have done something for this. It was my fault that my kid came out like that. That's exactly how I thought of it. I was like, yeah, you know, it's my fault because I had a speech delay. Now John has a speech delay. Oh my God, I did this to our son. And of course, my loving husband was reassuring me that it was not my fault. Even though sometimes to this day I still feel like that. But it's not my fault. But, yeah, so he's slowly progressing, and I swear to you, every milestone he hit, from him pronouncing his A's and B's, and him pronouncing his words, I cried every time. To this day, whenever he accomplishes something, I cry. I cry happy tears, sad tears, angry tears, stressed tears. I cry for every moment. I just think that's how it is for special needs parents. For every milestone or every, step back, because there are some step backs. Not gonna lie to you, it hasn't always been uphill. Sometimes it goes uphill and then he falls down the hill and he goes back up. It's all tears, man. And from there he went to from early intervention when it was time to go to school. He was about 3.5 now. And he went to a special education school. I love this school. It's New York Institute for Special Education. I love this school to the bottom of my heart. Those people, I don't want to cry. I'm going to try not to cry in this video. But those people have been my support system. Because you know how it says it takes a village to raise a child? I think it takes a whole army to raise a special needs child. Because when you become a special needs parent, not only are you their mother or father, now you become their advocate. You become their therapist, because then you start to learn these activities. You become the specialist. You become pardon me. You become literally everything for your child. And from there on out, he just went straight up. Sometimes he takes a step back, but it's like the good outweighs the bad sometimes. And I won't forget how recently they went to evaluate him, or not evaluate, they went to observe him for kindergarten. And somebody from the observation team said that John was saying to his speech therapist, oh, do you know why we have bones in our heads? And the teacher asked him, Olivia, it's like, why do we have bones in our head? And he goes, well, because if we don't have bones to protect the brain and our brain gets hurt, that's a really bad thing. We could get really, really hurt badly. Sorry. My 5-year-old, who not even 3 years before, I just said I wasn't gonna cry. My baby boy, who was grunting and biting himself because he couldn't talk, says that thing so perfectly too. It's like not even what he said. It's what he said was amazing, but how he said it is what had me over the moon. And I was so proud, because it's like my kid was not talking. I thought my kid was going to be nonverbal for the rest of his life. I'm that dramatic. And all his IEP meetings, I cry. See, I'm telling you, this is an emotional journey for a special needs parent. And just my child talking to this day, it makes me so happy. It makes me so ecstatic. And my child could do no wrong in my eyes now. Whenever I think of that story, it's like, I just want to go and hug him so much. And everybody that knows me and knows my family knows the struggles that we had when he couldn't talk. And knows how on top of it I was. Like, I literally go down on the floor and do the OTs with him. And we do homework with him every day. Because we just want him to be the best. And, you know, we still to this day, sometimes we fight with the IEP team. Like, no, he needs this and he needs that. Or, no, we don't think he needs this anymore. Like, recently when we did the IEP for this quarter, they're taking out his speech. That is a huge accomplishment. Because we literally started all this off because of speech. Literally, we did all this because of speech. And now you're telling me the speech is going out the window. It makes me so happy. And, I should have brought tissues. Because I know my crybaby ass is going to do this. Yeah. And then, one other thing, though, that kind of upset me during this whole journey is that I was only expecting him to have a speech delay. That's why sometimes this journey has its turns and stuff like that, because when we got him evaluated, they told us, oh yeah, he needs he has a gross motor delay too. I'm like, what's even that? I'm only here for speech. What are you talking about? And they're like, oh no, he has a gross motor delay and a little fine motor delay. And I'm like, so now you're telling me I really thought that I messed my kid up. I'm like, what did I do to mess my kid up? They're like, no, it's not your fault. And I'm like, but what is all this stuff? I thought he only had a speech delay. And they were like literally saying because of the way that he walked up and down the stairs, and because of the way he would hold the pencil is not proper. And it's not even that it's not proper, it's that his muscle tone was really low. Pardon me. So it's like hearing all that, my world turned upside down. I was like, something's wrong with my kid. That's how I thought. I was very naive. And this was like when I was like 20 years old. I'm 25 now. Well, not even. This was like when I was 22, around that age. And I was like, something's wrong with my kid. Like, and I felt like my world crumbled when I heard that, because I thought something is something that I did, and I really wanted to know what was going on. So when they did that and gave me my services, that's when I worked overtime. And then I started to question myself. I got ashamed saying my child is a special needs parent. My child is a special needs child. Like, when people say, oh yeah, how old is your kid? And I remember sometimes we would be in the park and some people would notice that my child wasn't socializing with the other children because he couldn't talk. He wasn't jumping up and down like the other kids because of his muscle tone. And they used to ask me, oh hey, yeah, you know, my child wants to play with your child. Is your child allowed to play? You know, and I would have my child play with the other kids and stuff like that. He would just come running back to me because he was either too tired or he didn't want to play anymore. And the parents would literally come up and ask me, like, what's wrong with your kid? And these are angry tears now. It's like I wanted to punch them in their face so badly. Like, what's wrong with you to think something's wrong with my kid? I think like the world is like honestly oblivious to special needs parents. And some people think that certain special needs is what you need to have. Like, for example, because John isn't physically disabled, he's not really a special needs child. Some people have said that, and I think that is so ignorant. That is so ignorant. A child is a child, and if a child has special needs, gets therapy for anything, you should acknowledge that that child has difficulty with something, and don't just push it down because it's not a certain disability. Like, why would you wish my child, or not even wish, why would you want my child to have a certain disability to be considered something? But anyway, I'm honestly getting off track now. Sorry. But yeah. And literally today, I took the kids to the doctors to get checked for our colds that we have in the household. And now they're saying that Miguel needs to get evaluated for a gross motor delay because he's not sitting up yet by himself. And that is hurting me so much. To think that something is wrong with me. And I know it's not my fault, but it's hard to think that it's not. And as a special needs parent, these are some of the thoughts that go through our heads when this happens. And I feel like this video just became a special needs rant instead of like just my special needs experience, because it's like so emotional. Everything, I tell you, special needs parents go through all the motions, and it's rough, man. It's really rough. But what I did learn from this journey is to not focus on the negative, like, oh my god this, and oh my god you did bad in this and you did bad in that. No, you have to acknowledge the accomplishments your child or your children go through. Like when John said more than 3 words, that was a yip yip hooray. And when John follows 3-word commands and stuff like that, it's like yay. All the good stuff. You have to acknowledge all the good stuff. And you have to be a strong army for your child. Because if that army crumbles, your child cannot flourish. It takes a village. It takes an army for a special needs child. And I think I'm going to end this crying video, because this turned into a crying rant video. Yeah. I'm going to go sanitize my whole body now. I've just been crying and drooling on not drooling, what's the word, dripping everywhere. And before I end this video, if you guys have any special needs parent experience, please tell me in the comments below. How do you feel being a special needs parent? For me, it's all an emotional roller coaster with a whole bunch of twists and turns. Please comment if you have a family member that's a special needs child, or just your thoughts on the video. And another quick shout out, this time for my brother, who's not only a part of the great podcast crew of Welcome to the Chat, he also has this amazing YouTube channel called TAW. There you go. Triple Star Amusement Wrestling, I believe it is. Yes. And it's an amazing YouTube channel. It's Triple Star 100. Highly recommend. I'm gonna put the link in the description below. If you guys ever wonder like who will win in a wrestling match between Ronald McDonald and Medea, like literally you could see that there, because it's literally a whole creative wrestling federation, or like literally like a wrestling channel where you see all these nostalgic cartoon characters or characters in general duke it out on the wrestling stage. Some people, like most of it's like literally with championships and titles It's from people from food things like Wendy and Ronald McDonald and the Burger King guy, even the Popeyes ladies there. They have Nintendo World Order. I know, sounds so crazy. It's like Mario, Luigi. I think Sonic is in there too. Like, I'm telling you guys, check it out for yourself. This thing is like honestly one of the most creative things I've ever heard in my life. And honestly, I watch it all the time. I love it. And it literally has over 600 subscribers. So that's another thing too. Like, just know that YouTube channel, definitely check them out. Check him out. It's my big bro, Juan. The link will be in the description below. Also, the Welcome to the Chat podcast will be in the link description below. Please comment, like, share, subscribe. Definitely subscribe. And please, when you subscribe, hit that bell. Ding, ding. Hit that bell, because from what I heard is when you guys subscribe, you won't know when I post things. And I know you guys want to know when I post things. So please hit that notification bell. And definitely comment, like, subscribe, share. That was my very unorganized, kooky, special needs parenting experience. Yeah. Peace.